Every day you make around 35,000 decisions: what to eat, who to trust, what to ignore, what to fear, what to believe about yourself. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of those decisions are not rational. They feel rational, but they're not. Your mind is quietly running shortcuts behind the scenes, shaping your life without asking for permission. This is not a flaw. This is how your brain was designed. Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize-winning psychologist, spent decades studying how humans think, and what he discovered changed psychology forever. He found that your mind is not one system, but two. He called them System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, automatic, emotional. It reacts instantly. It's the voice that finishes other people's sentences, jumps to conclusions, and tells you you're in danger before you have time to think. It's what lets you recognize a face in a crowd or slam the brakes without conscious effort. System 1 is efficient, intuitive, and incredibly powerful. System 2 is slow, deliberate, logical. It's the part of you that analyzes, calculates, and questions. It's what you use when solving a math problem or making a carefully planned decision. The problem is, System 2 is lazy, it requires effort, and your brain prefers to conserve energy whenever possible. So, most of the time, System 1 is in charge. This is where life gets interesting. Because System 1 doesn't care about truth, it cares about speed, it fills in gaps, it creates stories, it assumes patterns even when none exist. And System 2? Instead of correcting these mistakes, it often just agrees. It rationalizes. It says, "This feels right, so it must be right." That's how cognitive biases are born. One of the most dangerous biases Kahneman identified is something called the illusion of understanding. You feel like you understand the world far better than you actually do. You believe your opinions are based on facts, when they're often based on feelings, first impressions, and incomplete information. Your mind builds a coherent story, and once that story exists, it resists change. This is why people cling to beliefs even when evidence contradicts them. It's why arguments rarely change minds. Your brain isn't designed to seek truth. It's designed to protect your sense of certainty. Another powerful bias is the availability heuristic. Your brain judges how common or likely something is based on how easily examples come to mind. If you hear about plane crashes on the news, flying suddenly feels dangerous, even though statistically it's one of the safest ways to travel. Meanwhile, everyday risks feel harmless because they don't trigger strong images. Your brain confuses vivid stories with reality. Then there's loss aversion. Kahneman discovered that losses hurt about twice as much as gains feel good. Losing $100 feels far worse than the pleasure of gaining $100. This single bias shapes careers, relationships, investments, and life choices. It's why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and lives that feel empty. The fear of losing what we have outweighs the possibility of something better. Your brain would rather avoid pain than pursue growth. Here's where it gets personal. System 1 doesn't just distort the world, it distorts how you see yourself. A single failure feels like proof. A single criticism feels like identity. Your mind creates a story. This is who I am. And once that story exists, System 2 works to defend it, not challenge it. You think you're bad at something, so you notice evidence that confirms it. You think you're not good enough, so your brain filters reality to support that belief. This is confirmation bias. You don't see the world as it is, you see it as your mind predicts it to be. And all of this happens automatically. Kahneman didn't believe the solution was to eliminate System 1. That's impossible. System 1 keeps you alive. But he believed awareness changes everything. The moment you recognize that your thoughts are suggestions, not commands, you create distance. You slow down. You invite System 2 back into the conversation. The most important question becomes simple but powerful. Is this a fast thought or a true one? When emotions are high, accuracy is low. When something feels obvious, that's often when you should pause, because the brain is most confident when it's guessing. One of Kahneman's most profound insights is that confidence is not a signal of correctness, it's a signal of coherence. If your mind can tell a smooth story without contradictions, it feels confident, even if the story is wrong. That's why people can be confidently incorrect, and why humility is one of the rarest forms of intelligence. So what do you do with this knowledge? You slow down important decisions. You question first impressions. You create space between stimulus and response. You accept that your mind ECE